If the thing that has kept you from seriously considering network marketing is not wanting to be that person, the one who pitches everyone at every family dinner, who messages old friends out of nowhere, who follows up relentlessly until someone gives in, you are not the problem. The approach is the problem. Today, I want to talk and walk you through exactly how Sherry and I built our team without doing any of those things. Not because we found a magic shortcut, but because we built using a fundamentally different approach. And I want to give you that approach in full today. Before I give you the system, I want to tell you something that happened to me that taught me more about building than almost anything else ever has. I had a surgery. I was out of consistent action for about 2 to 3 months. Not completely, but enough. My attention went elsewhere. My daily activity dropped. My team went quiet. My income kind of tapered a little bit. It wasn't going up as high as it was. It did not happen immediately. It took a few weeks to show up in the numbers, but it showed up. And the rebuild afterward, getting the momentum back, re-engaging the team, rebuilding the activity was harder than the original build. Here's what that taught me. First, the system works, but the system requires you in it. Not every hour, but consistently. Showing up, leading, creating, and following through. Attraction marketing does not mean passive marketing. It means your presence and your consistency are what attract people and what keep your team moving forward. Remove the presence and the attraction slows down. You have to remember, momentum is a living thing. It is either grows or it decays. There is no holding pattern to momentum. So what is the actual system? In the R.A.N.C.H method, we use a 6-step framework called SIMPLE. SIMPLE. I want to walk you through all 6 steps today so you have a real picture of what building without chasing actually looks like. First, the S. That start with belief, not skill. Before you know what to say or how to say it, you need to believe that what you're building is real or worth building. Not certainty, but belief. The person who starts from a place of conviction does not need a perfect script. They just need to be honest about what they have seen or what they believe is possible. Skill follows belief. It never leads it. And this goes with belief in the product that you're doing or service that you're representing. So start here before you start anywhere else. Get clear on why you're wanting to do network marketing. Get clear on the product or service you're wanting to represent. Because if you don't have that belief in that product or service or what you're trying to do, you'll never be successful. What ceiling have you hit? What you want your life to look like in 5 years. That clarity is the foundation everything else is built on. The second one, the I. Identify who you want to help. Not everyone is your person. The person who tries to help everyone ends up helping no one. So before you have a single conversation, get specific about who you are building for. We call this your perfect avatar. And I have two of them. I have a customer avatar and I have a business builder avatar. Because some people you're going to talk to are not going to be interested in the business, but they're going to be your product user. What do they need? What do they look like? What they need help with? And then you have your builder. You're trying to help them get out of a financial situation. So ours is in the health and wellness field. I look at people I'm talking to, I'm like, well, hey, they're starting to tell me about health issues. I'm like, well, here's something. This may or may not help you. Are you willing to give it a try? Then I have the people that are wanting a better life, to do something different, the business builder. And I have a conversation about that. One of my perfect customer avatars all focused about helping health. The other one is about financial. What is their struggles? What do they want that they currently do not have? The more specific you can answer those questions, the more effective your content, your conversations will reach the right people. Remember, clarity about who you are serving also protects your integrity. Because you stop pitching people who are not a fit. You stop having conversations that go nowhere. You build with people who actually want what you have. And that makes every part of this process more honest and more sustainable. The third, M, make connection, not a pitch. The first conversation is never a presentation. It's not a sales like trying to sell them. It's a connection. You are finding out who this person is, what they are carrying, and whether what you are building is even relevant to their situation, or the product or service you're offering, is it even relevant to them? Most people skip this step entirely. They go straight from hello to here's my opportunity. That is why they get a lot of no's. Connection sounds like curiosity. It sounds like questions because it is questions. It sounds like genuine interest in another person's situation because you need to be. You're not worried about a word about what you're trying to do. When you make connections first, and when the person feels genuinely heard, the conversation of what you're building happens naturally and not forcing it. The fourth one, the P, plug people into the system. If you take my training course, you'll understand when you're trying to find a network marketing product or service, you need to make sure they have a system, because you are not the system. The system is the system. Your job is not to personally explain, train, handhold every person who joins. Your job is to connect them with the tools, the training, and the community that already exists in that company. And then it is your job to get out of the way and let the system do what it was built to do. This is one of the most liberating shifts in the simple system. You don't have to have every answer. You do not have to be the expert on everything. You plug people in and trust the system. That is what duplication looks like in practice. The fifth one, the L, learn by doing. You will not feel ready before you start. That is not a problem. That is how everything works. The knowledge you need to build this business is not available in advance. It is available through action. You learn the conversations by having them. And you'll have wrong conversations. You'll say things wrong. You might start pitching before they're ready. But that's why we don't pitch. We just have natural conversations. If the opportunity comes up to say, hey, check this out, have that conversation. You're not trying to pitch them on everything. You learn the content by making it, if you're going to do it through social media. You learn leadership by leading. And we all fall, but we get back up and keep moving forward. Every person who has built something real in the R.A.N.C.H method learned it by doing it imperfectly first. The person who waits until he or she feels fully prepared never starts. The person who starts imperfectly and learns from each action, they build something real. So give yourself permission to be a beginner. Just do not give yourself permission to stay one. The last step, E, execute consistently. Everything in this system is compoundable, but only if you show up to it every single day. Not perfectly, consistently. The content that nobody liked this week is the foundation that makes next month content resonate. The conversation that went nowhere today is the practice that makes tomorrow's conversation land. Consistency is the only thing that turns all 5 letters above this one into a real income stream. The simple system is not a checklist you complete once. It is a daily operating rhythm. Start with belief. Identify and know who you're serving. Have connections before you pitch. Let the system do the work. Learn through action and show up to all of it every single day. That is how you build without chasing. And this is how you build something that lasts. Stop chasing people who are not looking. Start being found by people who are. Let me give you a real picture of what working the system looks like week to week. In the margins of you having a full-time job and a family life. Monday through Friday, you spend 30 to 45 minutes creating and sharing one piece of content, a video, a thought, a piece of your story, something that teaches. Something that connects to somebody, or start having a conversation. You do not need to produce a masterpiece every day. You need to be consistent and honest every day. Then 3 to 4 times a week, you have real conversations with people who have reached out, engaged with your content, or been referred to you. not cold calls, not ambush conversations. Genuine exchanges with people who have already raised their hand in some way. Once a week, you invest in your team, a training call, a check-in with a new member, a resource that helps someone on your team take their next step. That is approximately 2 to 3 hours a day. That is the consistent action that the C pillar of the R.A.N.C.H method requires. Not 10 hours, not every waking moment. 2 to 3 hours a day applied to the right activities. Over months, not overnight, that consistency compounds. The team grows. The income grows. The time required to maintain it starts to stabilize while the income continues to build. But I want to give you 3 things not to do, because they are where most people get derailed, and because avoiding them will save you months of wasted effort. Trap 1. Pitching before trust is built. The fastest way to lose a relationship or your reputation at the same time is to pitch someone before they have any reason to trust you or your judgment. Build the story first. Build the content first. Let curiosity come to you before you present anything. Trap 2. Chasing people who said no. A no is not the beginning of a negotiation. It is information. Respect it. Move toward the people who are curious and away from the people who are not. No is next opportunity. Not to them, to the next person. A team built on convinced people is fragile. A team built on people who genuinely wanted it and wanted in is resilient. Trap 3. Inconsistency disguised as strategy. This one is subtle. It looks like I'm taking a week off to think about my approach, or I'm refining my message before I post again. Sometimes those things are real. More often, they are the voice of resistance wearing a reasonable mask. The surgery taught me that markets does not wait for you to feel ready. Your team does not hold still while you refine your strategy. Consistent imperfect action beats perfect occasional action every single time. Building a network marketing team without chasing, begging, or convincing anyone is not a secret technique. It is a system. Simple. Start with belief. Identify who you want to help. Make connections, not a pitch. Plug people into the system. Learn by doing. And execute consistently. Applied consistently 2 to 3 hours a day to the right activities for long enough, it builds a real team and it has real income stream. One that grows because people joined it, not because someone convinced them into it. That income is the first pillar of the R.A.N.C.H method. What you do with it determines everything that follows. Remember, the free training in the description walks through this complete system. All 5 pillars of the R.A.N.C.H method, including the network marketing income feeds directly into real estate acquisitions. No pitch, just the path. You do not find time. You design it. Protect what you design. Faith, freedom, financial independence. Now go build the rest.